So all in all United.
Welcome everybody, and as Kurt say, welcome to All in All United. And fellas, we are through to the next round, right? In a tournament where the likes of Tottenham Hotspurs get knocked out, they're damn good.
Hey, boy.
where the champions of Scotland Rangers, high flying Rangers, get knocked out. You understand? We having to go, and I thought we got the hardest time, having to go to San Siro, you understand, to get a goal. And the performance wasn't all that, but we were still able to show that kind of quality, that kind of grit, and pull off the result. Well deserved, you know.
Well deserved indeed.
How to put the Italian job we do on AC Milan. You understand? But anyway, guys, welcome Gregory, Kurt, and well, the usual Nico. Fellas, welcome. Let me talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us tonight, man. That's...
No problem.
Good to be back.
So let me get into the mix. You know the normal format, team sheets, fellas.
Yeah.
Nico, tell me.
Yeah, again, nothing surprising, you know. I know, but the only thing really surprising is that Oli didn't make any changes on the last game. Normally we know Oli does always play somebody different, you know. I would never have been shocked to see somebody else in the lineup. If you saw Ahmad started, or somebody else, but I think we're so stricken with injuries at the moment. That he had no choice other than to go with the same lineup. So I wasn't surprised, and especially with knowing that Bailly stayed behind. You know, I know that the centre back pairing would have been the Lindelof Maguire, and the wing backs would have been Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, because we needed to be strong defensively, because as you would have said, going away in San Siro would have definitely been a challenge in itself. You know, with not playing, you tried and trusted, more or less. The midfield, again, I don't think Matic has done anything really to displace Fred or McTominay, as horrible as even they are as midfielders. You know, I don't think Matic has done enough. I know Reem will go remember for that. You know, but yeah, and Greenwood, Rashford was kind of, you know, we know Rashford struggling, you know, but you know, he's a diehard. He still trying to give it something, which wasn't not all really. And James, who continues to play, because I guess that is the player in more or less giving us a bit of energy on top, other than Bruno. So I think the lineup more or less was more or less what I thought it would have been.
All right, nice. Greg, talk to me. All right. So in the meantime, while Gregory, let me just get some comments, right? Hey Ramdas, welcome, and he's saying, I wonder how men feeling about Pogba. Yeah, well, Ramdas, let me wait on them now. It's about time for everything. We go get to them. You understand? You say, wait, Nico, come again, and he's talking about the midfield, Nico.
Nah, dog, that McFred. Dog. When it's even like Kessie and running rings around them fellas. Kessie running rings around them fellas. Nah, boy, God. We had to get better midfielders, boy.
Talk to me, Greg.
Yo, I just see every time Nico does want to start on Fred, boy. It's like, I know Fred take me, man, jealous of, you know what, this man have I get Fred, boy.
Fred reaching limit. You can't knock him out of Fred.
You sure about that, boy?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure, boy. Yeah, 100.
Oh God, I have a stat I want to pull up for Mr. Man here, because I know you just always do these things, you know.
But we want him to do it for United. We want him to do it for United. If he is not doing it for United, he is not doing it. Then we go say then we go pull up Van der Beek stats from Ajax, right? That help.
Nico, hold on. Before you go any further, Fred versus AC Milan today. completed the most successful passes, 62 passes,
We standard really poor,
and made
yes?
the most tackles,
Watch me,
5.
we standard under the white line. Greg, stop it. Stop right there. Don't go no further.
These are
For
stats.
you
These are
to
stats from
rate,
Opta. These are stats
for you
from
to
Opta.
rate
These are stats from
Fred
Opta, sir.
performance
It's not
today.
my ratings. It
For
is
you
not
to
my. It is
wait,
not my ratings, sir. It is.
for you to
Let's just get
see
one thing
Fred
straight. Let's
performance
just
and
one
even
thing.
have the
I
goal
never said.
to bring that to the show. We standards well low, by God.
No, Nico.
Greg,
Soldier.
the man
Give
left
the
in the
chance.
6 boys.
Get the man, Nico, give the man the chance. Give the man the chance to bring his stats.
Women lie. Men lie. All I had to say is, women lie, men lie, stats don't.
All right.
That's all I had to say.
Greg, so tell us about your thoughts when you saw the starting lineup now.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly wasn't surprised at the starting lineup that I saw, because it was kind of like I was expecting Oli to go there and try to do enough to make sure and got the job done. I know it wasn't anything flair, because we were missing the players that we knew could have brought it. Martial was injured. Rasha was kind of playing on one leg. You could almost see it at some points. I saw him laboring. When I watched that game, I saw him real laboring today. So it was kind of hard to watch. But with everything that happened, the defense held their own, because we know in the first leg, we were susceptible to like those opening shots. Cassie with the screamer, that was her handball. Then Rafael Leao had the offside goal in the first leg. We didn't get too many of those moments today. My only issue, honestly, is Daniel James, because it had a lot of moments during that game where he could have looked up, and that crucial moment earlier when he had Rashford open on the left side. If he did see Rashford open there, that was 1-0 for sure. I just felt like, okay, the decision making has to get a lot better when it comes to certain things. And I'd go back to Fred. His performance was not the greatest. I'm not saying that, because there were many a times that I saw him lose the ball and look like he was getting bullied around the pitch sometimes. I'm not saying that he had the greatest performance, but from what we saw and from what I'm seeing here, it shows that it wasn't as bad as TV tends to make it look. He wasn't stable. He wasn't the most stable. He wasn't the most sturdy. But at the same time, he did the job. He and Scott McTominay are doing their part. They are playing their role and they are protecting the defense. That is what Oli has them doing, and that is what they are doing. So, Nico, stop with this agenda against Fred, against Martial. Oh gosh, man, just allow men and let them enjoy the win now.
That can't be an agenda, boy.
Wait. Greg is
can't be an
Scotty for you, eh? Scotty Dino.
All right, nice. I'm gonna get some comments
You
before we
could
move
cut
on.
Jesus slipper, dog. You could cut Jesus slipper with your madness, dog.
Hey, anytime Fred is the standard, we going through, you know. We gonna win nothing, no?
Oh boy,
Nobody-
nobody is. You hear anybody say anything about Fred being the standard?
Nah,
That's
boy,
two
you
different
gotta-
conversations.
nah, boy, you're
there.
a great boy.
That's two different
I-
conversations
What's
there,
right?
boss man.
I agree with Reams, 110% Reams are sorry, I apologize. You see the McFred thing? You gotta get rid of that. Right? Anyway.
Let me just get some comments and then we'll get Kurt's thoughts on the team sheet, right? Hey, Simeon, welcome, man. He's saying the midfielders are allergic to our first touch.
First touch alone? What about the second and the third? They can't even get that. The overrun on the ball, right through. Anyway,
Yeah, boy. No, you ain't lie about that.
but I'm telling you, as
Ramdas-
midfielders,
Ramdas saying McTominay is the Scottish Fellaini. I said what I said.
Nah. Don't talk about no player like that. The man have control on the ball better than Fellaini.
Important things, so yeah.
yeah, but no, honestly,
Fellaini do some important
I
things
believe,
for this team, eh? So big to big.
I believe McTominay could do a job, but he had to do it against a midfielder who could properly well play. Because play with Fred will make him look worse than he really is.
All right, let me just get one more comment before I bring Kurt in, right? Simeon saying if Dan James look up, how are you going to see the ball? So watch
Man, wicked boy.
Watch where. That the conundrum that Daniel James in, because if he look up, he might see the ball.
Yeah.
If he look down, he ain't go see the play so far he want to.
Yeah.
Watch where. That fella's wicked we. Anyway, Kurt, talk to me. Your thoughts on the starting lineup.
Well, when I saw the starting lineup, I wasn't too surprised on the lineup at all. I know we are gonna play a sort of defensive game, and I know that if we get one goal in, Olio's gonna not really park the bus, but he was just gonna sit back, soak up all that pressure as much as he could. I mean, if again, I had to agree with Greg. If those moments that Dan James had crossed the ball early to Rashford, we would have been one up. We might have ended up an aggregate of 3-1. Who knows? Pogba might have come on, Pogba might not come on, dependent. But there were some moments in the game that Daniel James really, really had some good what should I say, insight on the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he messed it up. Though I understand he been on the right. I mean, he didn't really offer much protection for Wan-Bissaka, but only idea was to stretch that right side, and he really did stretch that left back on the first and second half. If his decision making was a little bit better, this game would have been much easier. And
Agreed.
yeah, it would have been much easier. You understand? And as I say, we probably might not see Pogba because Lodi might have just rest trouble and say, you know what, just see how this game. If we had take the chances that we got. It was hard to see Rashford leaving. I honestly thought that Ahmad might have got a run. When I didn't see Anthony Martial, I was like, okay, right. Get the youth a little try. Martial could sit down and scrub some bench, hard up the airing, but sometimes it's better to try unknown, because when you look at how Rashford come on the scene, nobody didn't really had an idea about Rashi. And Rashi just come on, he just take the chance he got and he run with it. So I think Amar could have really done the same thing too. If Shotaya was on the team sheet, I'm sure he might have been able to did something too. So Oli kind of had the tactic spot on today, kinda. Coming to Fred, it was not the best. I mean, we haven't really seen the best of Fred, but he put in a
Oh Lord.
he put in
I
a
just
woman
see Nico itching to say something stupid. I just looking at Nico itching to say something stupid. Oh gosh, boy. Nico was
Again,
fighting
he
it.
put in a shift. He put in a shift today,
And
which
that's the
was
important
required
thing.
because he really did break up some crucial plays. And Maxos, well, I mean, I agree with Nico. This double midfielder protection thing, we need to do away with that. You really need to do away with that. You understand? And I hope next season, that either Maxos get a drop or Fred get a drop, and play a different format. Where Donny, because everybody talk about Donny can't defend or whatnot. But if you go back and watch that clips of Donny and Ajax, I mean, at the Dutch system and Ajax system are a little bit different. But Donny could defend. Donny could play that role. I could see the Pogs, Bruno, Van der Beek thing working out. And between the three of them, they could interchange. And one being the creator, one being the passer, one being the holder. They could do it. But just my thoughts. But on and all, it was a great, not great, actually it was a good team effort today. Going to talk about Hendo, boy, trust me, Hendo, real command box today, Dread. A lot of things that I seen that Hendo doing that DDG don't do. That quick release when he gets that ball, Hendo just looking straight up and looking for to release that ball as quickly as possible.
Careful, Kurt.
So
Careful.
yeah. Well, who's that DDG man? I love DDG too. But
everybody.
Folks. No, it have a man in particular. When they are bad talk, David De Gea, he does come out the hole for people,
No,
he will be somewhere in the comments looking. I've been on too many of these here to see when that man does jump out there.
Greg, we all know David I'm mistaking him 1 or 2.
Stevie Wonder could see that too. Stevie Wonder could see that, fella. That not
you understand?
David De Gea does have some real moments. It's like, what really going on there?
Yeah. He does have some. He have a moment sometimes, but he's still a good keeper. It's just that when you watch at Dean, it's like, wow, if Dean at this age commanding that kind of respect, when maturity, real maturity, when he started peak, we have a keeper for a long time. And I was talking earlier on in a particular chat group and telling men that we in disposed with wealth of good keepers. We have young Bishop coming up, and he's the one going to challenge Hendo in the long run. If not him, Matic Kovac. Because Romero on his way out.
Let me get some comments on there. Thanks, Kurt.
Already.
Ramdas saying Martial injured, else he was playing. Rashford was stressful today.
Yeah.
Martial's been stressful all season. So yeah. Martial's been stressful whole season. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Rima, sorry, I had to say it.
No, it is true. And you know that. He ain't gonna defend that. But you go say he's the type of football we playing, but still, he ain't gonna defend that.
Anyway,
I'm answering the best of Fred.
What is the best of Fred? People talking about Fred. People keep talking about Fred good.
His best attribute is breaking up plays against the opposition. That's his best attribute.
I could agree with that. I could agree with that.
Yeah, but his distribution could use some work.
That's all we want in a midfielder. He's a central midfielder. These are the players whose touch supposed to be the most exquisite on the team. And you telling me your first touches from here to right? You can pass the ball, make a 5-meter pass, right?
How many passes did he complete today, sir?
Nico,
how many passes did he complete today? How many passes? No. I want Nico to answer. How many passes did he complete today?
It don't matter. It don't matter, right? One of the midfielders also creating chances because he or McTominay can create a chance, right? Because in the last
man was born in Brazil.
Fred, you do know Fred has the assist for the Pogba goal, right? Oh, you didn't know that, did you?
That's some. Sorry, I get you. It don't matter. It don't matter. You just say that the man to pass properly. You can't pass properly. Man have assist for Pogba. Right.
You see you're contradicting yourself.
I want an upgrade. I want an upgrade on my midfielders.
We don't want on life. That mean we go get it.
I don't want to see Fred and McTominay at the field at the same time.
A man pray to God that ask him for $1 million. God answer him and tell him no. You don't get everything you want, status. Beef.
But this we can upgrade in the midfield and drop one of them. Right? I don't mind one of them play, but the two of them can't play. We have to have a midfielder who could help. The footballers about scoring goals, not only preventing them.
Anyway, we go beyond this topic whole night, eh?
Yeah.
We go beyond this topic whole night. Rim, I want to address Nicholas statements about what makes Dean better than David De Gea. Let's address that for a second.
Right?
What makes Dean Henderson better than David De Gea? From what I've observed, Dean gives people more of a commanding presence. He shouts more at his defense. He talks to them more, and you can see a sense of confidence when he's inside there. You notice how much Harry and Victor have a little bit more freedom to say, "Hey, we could go a little far because we could trust Dean to make sure and pull out some saves. We know he's not gonna have too many lapses in concentration." Something that David De Gea has had one too many instances in the past where that has happened, and it has happened far too often. The only thing you can hold against Dean Henderson as of late was the equalizer against Milan in the first leg. Honestly,
and he made up for that today. He made up for that today.
Exactly. The man saved a point blank header from Zlatan. That's the best way to respond to your critics, man. At the end of the day, players are going to make mistakes. They are human beings, and I think people need to understand that. But I think we've come to a point where we realize that David De Gea is starting to show signs of a decline. And Dean Henderson is proving daily once he gets the chances that he is the man that wants to get that number 1 shirt. You have someone at 22 years old who is hungry, who has the right desire, who has the mindset to want to be here. You're not too sure. You ain't to worry about no fax machine breaking down if some transfer had to go through. Dean wants to be the number 1 at Manchester United for years to come. So there's an assurance there.
I like what you said, Greg. He wants to be the number 1. I don't think he's not the number 1 for now. but he's definitely, he wants to be. I think he is doing what he has to do to be the number one at some point. So I guess the club at some point will have a difficult decision to make. And
exactly.
And even on finances, it may not even be a difficult decision. It might be an easy one.
And make no mistake about this. This is no attack on David De Gea's character. I have nothing but the utmost respect for David De Gea as a football player. The man has won a Premier League with us. He's won the FA Cup with us. He's won the Europa League with us. He's won multiple trophies with us. So we've been successful with him as our number one goalkeeper. But at the same time, like I keep saying to people, even Peter Schmeichel knew when to call it a day. Some goalkeepers just have to recognize when they cannot play at a certain level anymore.
And I don't think he had that level, Greg, to be honest. I don't think he has...
I'm just saying.
Maybe because of the competition.
To play for Manchester United, you need to have a bit more of a stability. Sometimes you have to be self-motivated at times. So sometimes, like Martial, I don't see the motivation and I don't see the desire there in some games. Doesn't mean that he's not talented enough and that he's not good enough to play for the team. But the way people keep talking about consistency, I can think of many instances where many a player have made mistakes. It doesn't mean I just want to automatically kick them out of the club. But David De Gea has shown me, not just in like 1, 2, 3, 4 off games, but sometimes at a consistent level. At times there's like 10, 15 games you're seeing a lot of mistakes. And there's a lot of moments of anxiety and nervousness. So if it's a situation where the hammer had a drop, no love lost, but it's not like we don't have proper replacements. That's all I say.
Nice. Yeah, so we get back to the game, Rims. Some way we get back to the game. Yeah.
For sure. I see Ramdas typing away here in defense of De Gea. Right. So we'll just give him I think Greg would have represented his point very, very well. So I just want to give Ramdas his opportunity and then we'll move on, right?
Fair enough.
He's saying because we then taking away De Gea Prem wins and multiple trophies with multiple defenders. He's also saying, I watched Dean play at Sheffield. His quote-unquote mistake is something he did all the time at Sheffield. He parries his shots, and you cannot do that at the club like ours. So he's in disagreement with you, Gregory. But
you can fumble balls into the back of your own net, right? David De Gea has done that many a time. That's all I had to say.
I think the point he's making, Greg, is that, sometimes we just talk about some of the credit you have in the bank now with what De Gea has won. I guess it has certain things when you measure it up, Dean Henderson doesn't have that in his bank to support when, he makes certain kind of mistakes like that.
Okay, yeah? But you could also make, hold on, Kurt, let me just address this one. Sorry to cut people off, but I just said, we could make the same statement that and it could go in both directions with a young Iker Casillas. When he won his first Champions League, how old was he?
18 or 19 or something.
Exactly. And the person the goalkeeper he replaced was the goalkeeper that won the Champions League with them in 1998. Cesar. So Cesar had credit. Cesar had that in his bank account. He had La Liga titles with Real Madrid to his name too. Eventually, the young player has to step up and take over the reins. The same thing is going to eventually have to happen with David De Gea. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, every football is a cycle. Some of the best players have their great moments and they have to move on eventually. It's going to come to a point where David De Gea is going to have to move on. And if they decide to do it this season or the next season or the season after that, once I know that Dean Henderson shows consistency at this level, I don't have a problem with it. So the 1 or 2 parries in the one-off games, and I'll take that because it can happen to any goalkeeper.
Good point. Well represented, Greg. All right, guys. So let's move on. Right now, there's an interesting statistic coming out from this game today, and it says that Man United has conceded 1 goal, 1 goal, guys, in our last 7 games. Right now, that has to be, sometimes we talk about indictment on the coaching and indictment on the players and that kind of thing, but that has to be, we have to really commend whether it's the coaching staff as well as our back line. But then again, defense starts from the front, and Oli always talks about his attackers pressing, and that's very shape. Yeah. So let's talk about the fact that the likes of Maguire, Lindelof, I think Maguire and Lindelof was solid today.
Yeah.
Solid.
Very.
Right? Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. And we got a throw in by and De Gea in the mix.
And we also had a throw in Fred and McTominay. We had to do that because how they play and how deep they play to protect. No, and Greg are talking at the different capacities here. So their defensive capacity and their midfield capacity there's a big gulf in terms of their defense, what they do as defenders and what they do as midfielders, right? And what I would say is I have seen a improvement in our defending. I think we have been very solid of recent. I know even Callum always saying in terms of if you look at Lindelof, he excels in European type matches. I think he's that type of player. He's more comfortable playing against players who maybe want to play football compared to the physical type. However, we have seen a bit of consistency in the league also. And I think also the timely rotations from Oli. I think Oli had to get some credit also in terms of the timely rotations and more or less keeping his back four fit or five, or even seven if you want to call it that way. So I think we definitely have done. I think the team deserves credit, and as we would say from front to back, because even if you look at Greenwood performance tonight, Greenwood ran his socks off. I don't think I ever saw Greenwood ran so much in a game, gave so much effort down to the end. He was giving his all. We always know Bruno gives his all. When Rashford is fit, James, we know he has energy. So I think we really defending as a team, and I think the results are showing. Even Dean coming in, I think Dean, yes, we know he made the error against, as some would say that error, some would say not, I would say not, but as a bullet header against AC Milan. But definitely you show the quality today. You show the quality today with that save against Zlatan. And I think what that showed me is maybe he learned from his mistake. Maybe what happened to him in the first leg, it was so fresh in his mind. Maybe worked on it in training. Maybe saw there's a deficiency in his game, and we saw where that save today bear fruit. So I think overall our defense has been excellent, and show going forward and show presence. Yes, we know we still have some tweaking, but overall I think his game is right up there with some of the best fullbacks in the world.
All right, before we move on to Kurt, let me just get his comments. Hey, Dion, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
good night, all. Taking
that win.
Taking that win. We miss Pogba.
Yeah. No way, Jose. Yeah. Jose, I don't know how Jose still at Spurs. Anyway.
I was watching that game earlier too, eh? Would you believe? I watched one of the goals that goalkeeper actually saved. I think it was, I can't remember, it was Bale or Mora. The man had the whole far side of the goalpost open. Eh? The goalkeeper still managed to save that. How? How so there?
Let me get Curtin on what we were talking about, just following up from Nico concerning our defensive solidity over the past 7 games. 1 goal conceded. Talk to me, Kurt.
Well, you have to admit, you have to give the managers and them some credit. I believe it started from there. They probably did their homework, did some homework, and work on the boys, and to instill in them that, hey, that defense. We know Oli like to start that defense from in front. I was telling somebody earlier on that defense started in front. It has some teams who doing the high press. When they were Leicester, for example, when you take Leicester, for example, their defense start from in front. And Ole always stress on that. And players like Jesse is players that Ole would credit and like in the fold, because they know what they need to do. The confidence level, I think Dean bring a confidence level to that back line, right? Because he always talking to, and the matches that he play, whether it's Bailly and Maguire, or whatever combination in the back four, right? He always talking to them for that, say, hey, man on, press on, but and you always do Harry, always had that confidence, Linda, always had that confidence to bring on the ball from in the back, right? But you can see that, the thinking with these fellas, they're not making this silly pass. I don't really like the bring on from in the back, but they're not making those silly errors like in the back, passing back, per se. You understand? Because Dean is saying, okay, man on. So they know how to clear it over and whatnot. Sure, again, sure confidence level has peaked to like 110%. The man is playing with a bit of a freedom that I've never seen in a long time. And I'm really happy for sure. Going forward, coming back, I mean, that up and down on that left flank is really something nice to see. Wan-Bissaka, we have seen this season that his attacking prowess has increased a little bit, and I will hope that if we do get a preseason inside, that they work on this, he work on that part of his game. And trust me, if he work on that part of his game, he will be making that England squad right now. And that's the only reason that he's not in that England squad, because TAA have that attacking. He's not so much defensively minded, but he has that attacking prowess. You understand?
I find he can't defend.
He can't defend shit. he can't defend. He can't defend his shadow. And if you can play two right back in our game, one time, you get like, okay, Trent, you stay half line upward, and Wan-Bissaka stay from the half line backward. Yeah, that's
why you think Southgate had Kyle Walker as a centre back when he had Alexander on the field? You man know he can't defend.
Let me get some comments before. Kurt, you finish? I just want to make sure you finish. You finish?
Yeah. Basically, that's about it. And just to touch on Fred and our defensive setup. Sometimes even a game like this, you could actually play one or two of them, not the both of them. But I rate them for protecting the backline. But we really don't need two midfielders to be protecting the backline.
And I think that is why we're struggling for goals. That's the main reason why we're struggling for goals.
Right.
Because we do have we so studied about protecting the defenders that in terms of creating chances, we do have players to do that. But then even if you want to play a Fred or McTominay in an attacking area, then it don't make sense either. Right? So the best is just to lead them with this and get quality midfielders in the team who could create chances.
Now, Nico, I'm glad you brought it up, because that's where I was going after the first question, because I was going to ask, no, I know, Gregory, I know you didn't get a chance to weigh in on this, right? But I was going to ask, did we need to play with a double pivot today?
Yes, I said yes.
Because when you look at the first leg, right, we saw how well AC Milan possessed the ball, and we saw the need for the McFred, because McFred didn't play in the first leg, right? But then, when we in possession in a game where we needed to go for it, did we need to necessarily play with McFred, right? But before I start with Greg on that one, let me just get some comments here and then we'll move on, right? Ramdas saying, Reem, we have two midfielders and two defenders and the right back defending. So of course, that's why we only concede one goal. But Ramdas, in response to that, it's a plenty of other teams who have all these defenders and they concede more than us, right? So we had to get credit where it's due, right? Jesus Hackshaw, welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying credit to defense, Mangalov and McFred. Dean had 4 shots he dealt with. True. So, Greg, talk to me. Did we need going for a game where we know probably, as Nico was lamenting earlier, McFred is not the most technical midfield, especially when you're looking for stuff going forward to score. We spoke about Fred's qualities in breaking up play. And we see McTominay little decent going forward. Sorry, Kurt and Nico, but all that, right? Anyway,
I don't mind.
Into a game,
he improved from last year.
No, he improving, but he can't play by himself. And he can't play with Fred next to him. That is two negatives.
Right. So Gregory, starting with you. Did we need to play with these two players in this game today?
I mean, listen, I kind of look at it from both sides of the coin. I kind of understand why Ollie does it, because even though we probably could have used a bit more creativity, which is why I probably would have not played Fred, probably played Donny to give us a bit more possession to help out Bruno, and also match AC Milan's possession game in that sense, because that's what Donny could give you going forward. However, I think he's telling himself he knows he's not conceding much goals with this formation, so why spoil a good thing in his eyes? Granted, it does tend to take away from the creativity, and I have to agree with Harry. McTominay is improving going forward. You saw when he started to burst forward in the dying seconds of the match. He blew past about 3 or 4 defenders. Somebody had to literally have to shove him off the pitch before they had to get the ball from him. So, in retrospect, I think after this season, maybe he will probably try something and tinker with it a bit differently. But for now, I think he just probably wants to see things out and make sure that he finishes the season in a good position. Hopefully, he gets over that semi-final hurdle and make it to our finals. But I kind of understand why he doesn't trust to play more creative players forward, because he wants to kind of keep that solidity in the back. And probably because he may feel that Maguire and Lindelof may be a bit more exposed, as we saw in some instances where Fred, McTominay, all of them coming back and trying to make sure I'm playing last-ditch tackles to make sure that AC Milan's attackers don't get anything. I can see why he really trusts it, because it really congests everything for the opponents to go forward and really make a chance for themselves. So, like I said, I kind of on the fence about it, but honestly, I probably would have started it a bit differently, probably played a bit more of a creative midfield, get more possession-based players out on that pitch and let them work from there.
Interesting that you said that, because I know and noticed, and I don't know how many of you would have noticed, after that thrashing that we got from Spurs, Ollie changed his whole approach, and he went a lot more defensive to protect, his defense, and to be a little more cautious in how he approached games. And even today, we saw where the first half where Fred and Fred, Bruno, McTominay was struggling, and even when he brought on Pogba, he didn't take off any of the midfielders. Yeah, and as the central midfielders, he took off Pogba and brought on Rashford. Now, even though Rashford would have gotten an injury, he could have still said, well, here we're going on Pogba for Fred and Diallo for Rashford, but he didn't do that because he understands what he wants to do with in terms of solidifying that team for whatever defensive structure. So before I go on to Kurt, on this same topic, I'm bringing in Ramdas, right? So I know now Ramdas and Gregory, no fighting. Right? No fighting. Right?
Here we go.
We're behaving.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Okay, no.
Long time.
Thanks for joining, buddy.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
good night, buddy.
Listen.
Only the apple cut. I don't watch it even.
So, Kurt,
It might tip.
Well, first I want to start on Pogba. Well, I'm glad that my boy come back in, because I know I have only t-shirt right now. I'm glad that he come back in, and he put in a defensive for the 45 minutes or so. He put in a defensive shift today, and I was really pleased on his output on the game. I couldn't complain. I couldn't complain about it. I didn't really see. According to Greg, I kind of agreeing with Greg that I understand why it is that Ole plays the two, and sometimes he can be a little bit innovative, and I guess next season that we really do get to see the best of Donny, because I know it's kind of hard to fit him in the setup and like, okay, who you going to really drop, but I agree with Greg and we could have been a little bit more creative at the same time being defensive. And as Nico say, if we get the players that we really, really want, I mean, who could switch from attack to defense to attack? We don't really need to be depending on 2 DMs, or the double pivot, to be protecting Maguire and Lindelof and Bailly, because Bailly can hold it on his own. And I've never seen, I don't think we ever had Lindelof. Yeah, we had a Lindelof by combination
Yeah.
already. And when Lindelof by play, right, or when they play with a back three with Lindelof, Shaw, and Bailly, I mean, you don't need that kind of protection because then for them can hold their own. Bailly is very comfortable bringing on the ball. He's very comfortable in passing. You know his defense. I mean, he had a little suspect at times too, but I still would trust Bailly to an extent. If Lindelof get that confidence to win his air balls, trust me, we have a decent balance of defenders and whatnot. And we don't really and at games we don't really need to be there. A game like today, Mata would have been nice to help out Bruno as well too. Because Mata still will put in a defensive shift as well as that creative shift and help out Bruno. And the workload would not be so because at some point of the game, Bruno was invisible. I was like asking, Bruno playing in this game? I didn't make out Bruno at all. You understand? Because AC Milan come with a semi low block game today. And they were like almost defending in 6 and breaking out in our counter.
Yeah.
So until we have the players that we really want, I think only trust the system that we have because as the right boy Reem says we get our 6 that trashing from Spurs, or he say, wait a minute, let me just flip it up a little bit. And I was glad that he flipped the script a little bit, and we started to be a little bit more solid defensively. But we were still leaking goals.
Yeah.
So we still need to be a little bit more, you still need to tweak and get creative. And we just probably a couple of players short of the perfect Manchester United team for the next 5 years. And I keep saying our academy have some brilliant young players that hungry, really hungry to show on the big screen. And if these guys don't really get a chance, like Hannibals, the POGBAAACCCKKK, the Galbraiths, the Levitts, when these guys come back from load, these guys and them have a lot of even Dalot in the 2 leg look real decent. And
James Garner.
Tell you the honest truth, yeah, Wan-Bissaka play a lot of games. He could take a little bit. There are some games that one could sit it out. Dalot can see it through. And the versatility of Dalot, he can play either left or right, just like Williams.
Yes, nice, good.
So
Nicole, talk to me.
Yes.
Today, definitely, I was comfortable with starting with double pivot because I know Pogba was on the bench. Because I know Pogba was on the bench, and we had a player who could make a difference. As long as we kept it tight in the first half, I know we had the players that we could have brought on to possibly won the game for us. I think if we went with one, let me say with one layer protection and actually played more attacking, we possibly could have played into AC Milan hands, conceded a goal, and the moment we conceded one goal, it would have been a difficult task for us. Yes, we know if we scored, it would have been balanced, but still, I knowing our team, one goal we could have crumbled. So keeping it tight in the first half with the 2 players, and then in the second half we have had to go for it. And knowing that we have the artillery and Pogba to come off the bench, right? I think it was a safe decision, and I think that is what eventually worked for us.
All right, nice. Let me just get a comment from Jesus and then Ollie and the apple cart, right? He said, Greg, the other perspective is that exactly what Reem said. Since the trashing, Ollie couldn't afford another goal at this stage. As his forward,
forwards, nothing.
Not knocking.
Knocks nothing.
Nothing. Right. So they're not really on form. They're not clicking.
Yeah.
So game strategy was sound. Luckily, he took the gamble on Pogba, and Pogba came on for Marcus Rashford. It worked simply because they couldn't mark Bruno and Pogba out of the game together. As you realize, he kept Dan James to stretch him. That was a very, very good analysis, Jesus. That was very, very good.
Precise.
I can't knock Jesus logic on that. The man know you ball. I'll game there.
Yeah. And Simeon saying the obvious, we need to score more. And sometimes with the double pivots, we're not creating opportunities for our strikers. So it is really, this system is heavily dependent on them individual moments of brilliance now. Anyway,
but if we had a double pivot with attacking qualities. Maybe
better
could have
players.
worked in it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you saw Fred and you saw McTominay again in areas where if they had a better or football IQ in terms of that attacking sense or that quality in terms of the attack and creativity, then they would have created more chances.
But that's true. But the reason why I ask is because we're talking about the players that we have, you know.
Of course.
So yeah. Talk to me, Ramdas.
Well, I'll start with how I felt about the team. Honestly, I was real disappointed. I was actually almost slightly depressed because I was like, this is gonna be a real bore fest, drag it out. Especially when I realized that it was the exact same team that played West Ham. And the funny thing is, I didn't see the West Ham game. That's why I didn't even message you, because I wasn't even.
But the West Ham game wasn't bad enough, Greg.
Except
I know Greg.
the goal,
Ramdas.
The win that we're okay, right? So understand from a person who hasn't seen the game and purposefully didn't even watch highlights, right? The goal was from a deflection.
Right.
That says everything about the game that I need to know.
No. If you look at the game. No, but if you looked at the game, the game was one of the better games we played for a while.
Let me.
And Greenwood looked like the old Greenwood in that game.
Greenwood had real chances in that game.
Here we're going on. That's not Ramdas. Before you continue, you start wrong. You can't not watch the game, right?
No. Here's what I'm saying, right? Let me explain it.
Shoot at yourself with the foot, brother. Shoot at yourself with the foot.
Let me explain it. Because what I'm saying is, because when I got home, I looked at it, I was like, okay, I won. All right, cool. And I checked it. And I saw that it was a Scott McTominay deflection. I was like, what? So it's just for me that I just expected. No. I'm not. It's not me trying to dig out Scott McTominay. What I'm saying is, in that moment, it wasn't me trying to dig him out, because is the ironicness of him being so bad as a CDM, which you're trying to force him to play, when we've been saying since the earlier half of even last season that he's more like a box-to-box, maybe even like a Roman centimeter or something like that. We've been saying that here, but we continuously want to play him as a CDM. So, as somebody who didn't even have the context of the game, I was like, what kind of weird, kind of slow, boring, kind of cheat the ball and slot one in kind of game it was, right? That's what it looked like. That's what I'm saying. It looked like that from the
Ramdas,
right?
sometimes you had to win ugly, you know.
Hold on a second.
You got a point.
Yeah. I think Ramdas need to watch the games first, right? We gotta start right here.
Ramdas, I don't care how we win. Deflection. If it's a deflection, own goal, a win is a win. You want to say sometimes you had to win.
But
we 200% deserve to win that.
No, but in defense of what Ramdas saying is, if you were to just look at the scoreline and see a defensive midfielder score deflected goal, it could be an indicator of a lot, because we clearly don't create
what I am saying
to score goals.
Precisely.
Right?
What
Freeze there.
So what I'm saying is, what exactly happened? Did we just happen to get like a lucky ball on the last kick of the game and kind of nonsense like that? Like what really happened now, you know?
Greg, yeah, what I mean, Greg, I know that's Greg. Greg, did you see the AC Milan game today?
Ramdas.
Ramdas, did you see the AC Milan game today?
Yes, I watched your game today.
Well, let me talk about that game.
Start about
well, let me start with talking about
game actually.
Right?
Talk to me about it. All right. Like he getting some technical difficulties there. Right? But guys, as we moving on, right? I want to touch on two things, right? Let me talk about the Pogba impact, because Pogba's been getting a lot of slate even before. He had a nice run of form before injury, and we saw how much we missed him. But I remember a particular review where Mr. Nico Senon right there was talking about we need Pogba, right?
Yeah.
But
I
could defend that. I could defend that down to the wire.
This I have to hear. This I have to hear. No, Reeb, let him say what you need to say. Let him say what you need to say. I want to hear it.
Let me finish.
Because you can't come here just now talking about Fred and how he don't have no IQ, right?
Right.
And then they come in to say you're defending some point that we don't need Pogba, right?
No, I could defend it. I could definitely defend that.
Anyway,
This I have to hear.
I'll get the opportunity to defend it,
Okay, all right.
right? But we want to talk about the Pogba impact, and after
Yes,
that,
no. Oh, they hear me anything?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
We want to talk about the Pogba. We want to talk about the Pogba impact, but we also want to talk about Cavani, because something fishy going on with Cavani.
I don't even know what's going on. So I don't know what's going on. So I didn't want to comment, to be honest, because
but I don't know if
I really don't want to assume in this one, because I really need Woods. I need Dark with this one.
We hear for fan opinions, right?
Yeah,
so
boy,
I want to hear some of your points of view on this whole Cavani issue. But before that,
I'm gonna skip that one. I'll leave that for Greg, Ramdas, and Kurt.
Right. So we want to talk about Pogba's impact, and I want to start on Pogba's impact with Ramdas, because Ramdas see this game, right? Talk to me.
Yeah. I just want to learn. All I can say is, from that perspective, this game looked like it was going.
Still have an issue.
Yeah, some technical issues on that side.
All right. So Ramdas might have to sort out his technical issues, right? Kurt, talk to me. Pogba impact.
Well, like I was telling you earlier on, but I didn't see when the man scored the goal. When I went and look at the highlights, from what I see, he changed the tempo of the game. You know, Bruno didn't have to work as hard as in the first half when Pogba come back. So he changed the tempo of the game. Our ball retention was a little better. Yes, the AC Milan was actually like double teaming him, triple teaming him. You know, and by double and triple teaming him, it opened up spaces for other players on the field for us to attack. So it was nice to see him come back after a lengthy delay of the field, and I couldn't complain about it. So if we could really build, I mean, based on the players that we have right now, if we can find a way to really work this Pogba Bruno midfield thing, and we have two of probably the best, or two of the best, most creative players in our side right now in Europe. And if we can get these two fellas on song for a whole season, our midfield could be untouchable, because both of them could spray passes like that. Yeah, we know Bruno does make some audacious passes, but he does go back and fight fit. He's a never give up kind of fella. And not to stray too much, but keeping it on Pogba. The man showed his class today, and I know Nico is not really a big Pogba fan.
No, I'm a big Pogba fan. Don't cross that one. Don't cross that one. I'm a big Pogba fan.
Right. I just say
real fight on Pogba. Real fight on Pogba.
I just say
all jersey of Pogba in the back. Go ahead.
I just want to say I'm motivated. Pogba realized that he no longer is the main man, and he said, "Well, all right. A lot of the stress come off for me. I could try to play my natural game." And as Pogba is a little bit relaxed now in his playing, I think next season, if he's still with us, we're going to see a different Pogba. We're going to see the Pogba that the world really was waiting to see.
Yeah. Well said. Good.
Yeah.
Greg, talk to me about Pogba and his impact today.
I mean, goes back to the whole discussion we were having about if we shouldn't play the double pivots in games like this. And I mean, it really lends to the whole situation with Pogba's impact, because you saw how well he plays when he has players that can play possession-based style with him. because that's how he likes his game. He likes to be able to have the freedom to move. He has the players that could give him the ball. He could receive. He has options to play with. Once he has a kind of a free flowing game with him, you get the best Paul Pogba you could possibly get. Because if you watch him with France, most of those players that he have around him, they are not stagnant players. They're not fighting up to go and do that. Kante moves. Everybody moves. You watch how Pogba and Bruno could link up and play together. But like Kurt says, for all the audacious passes Bruno makes, Pogba does the same thing. The only thing Pogba seems to get a bit more accurate with those passes, but his impact is something you cannot deny. You saw that when he came on, he changed the whole dynamic of the game. There was a bit more of a drive. There was a bit more of a forward thrust from our team, and that's what he really lent it. He may not be as quick as Rashford, but him going out on the left side and then cutting in to try and look for openings shows how well he is, for how good he is at finding spaces, how well he can open up and look for options. It was a good thing to see, and then he got the goal tonight that got us through. So it's the best way to come back. It's like a little Cool J said in Mama said, knock you out. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. He reminded people why he won the World Cup. So it's simple as that.
Yeah, well said. Let me just two comments before Nico, right?
Yeah.
And this one is in response to the point that Ramdas was making earlier about the goal against West Ham. He's still saying, but Scott's goal was fighting for it at the first post. But to be fair, West Ham hasn't been leaking goals, so they are solid in the back. But we with the pace outstripped them on some breaks. Yeah, but when they had the banks of four, we struggled. Yeah. Ramdas also saying, all I was saying is I expected a ball draw and they played like they wanted to win. All right, and that's all I want from Ollie. All right. He's also saying on the Pogba impact, he was an outlet. Started exactly as Ollie wanted. Held the left, therefore stretching Milan. Him holding the ball, winning free kicks, crisp passing, drawing defenders. The goal was the defense collapsing on Fred and Bruno in the 6-yard. Ball landed on the feet of Pogba. He faked and put it where he wanted. After that, he started to drift as the number 6, in a number 6 position, sometimes leaving Shaw exposed. Okay. Luckily, Milan turned their strategy towards Dalot, making inroads and crossing cross-field balls to Zlatan. Yeah, because they had to go for it.
Yeah.
Nice. Good point, Jesus. Talk to me, Nico.
Yeah, again, Pogba is Pogba. We know the quality Pogba had from even the day he reached United for the first time before he left. When he left, I think Reams, we talked about it, you know what I mean? How it is for he could have let Pogba leave, you know what I mean? We know Paul Scholes come back from retirement. Pogba couldn't get a game. When he went to Juventus, we were upset, you know. We said we let Gem slip away. Coming back, and I mean, he showed his quality in Italy before coming back. And when he came back, as Kurt would have said, he had a lot of responsibilities on his shoulder. Right? At times he dealt it well, other times not. Right? Since Bruno has came into the team, he has continued to show his quality. However, at the beginning of this season, right, he has struggled to perform. And we know that, and we saw it, especially, let me say, for the Arsenal game, when he clumsily gave away the penalty, and the series of games after that, right, where he ended up on the bench, and then we didn't know what was going on. We just saying Pogba out of form, or Pogba wasn't giving his best, or Pogba wants to leave, not knowing he was still struggling with the COVID virus, and the COVID virus had a major impact on him. So at the end of the day, if we don't have that type of information, and we see the levels of performances, then we would say maybe this player doesn't want to be here. And if he doesn't want to be here, we need players who are willing to fight for this team, then maybe he should go elsewhere. Right? But the moment everything was cleared up in terms of why he was struggling, because he was struggling with COVID, they had to pull him out of the team to get rehabilitation. And when he came back into the team, he was the Pogba that we saw post Project Restart. You know, and since then he was exceptional. You know, and even up to recent, I myself was calling for Pogba. We need Pogba back into this team because the team had no quality in midfield, no quality going forward outside of Bruno. So the moment you lock down Bruno, then who else there is to create? Rashford is not a creative player. Marshall is not a creative player, and we don't know what's going on with Fred and McTominay. So we know we needed Pogba back into the team. And again today, I know, and we saw it on multiple occasions from before. Myself and Rima talk about it. Every time Pogba is out of the team, and the moment he comes into the team, especially off the bench, you see the energy, you see the quality, you see like he was missing it. You know, you saw today where when he came onto the field, the as you all would have said, the whole dynamics of the team and the game changed. You saw where we stretched the team. You saw Pogba wanted to beat a player. He was full of it, you know. And today was brilliant. It was stress relieving to see that goal, you know. And the moment to me that goal scored, I felt very comfortable knowing that we would have managed out the game. And I think definitely the difference today would have been Pogba, because if we didn't have Pogba today, we weren't going to win today, because I didn't see anything, as Ramdas would have said. It would have been a ball fest. You know, this game would end up 0-0 and we'd have been out, you know. But Pogba really took the game by the scruff of the neck today, as he came on, as we always wanted him to do, to take game to the scruff of the neck. And he did that today. And even with him coming on and providing the outlet, it freed up Bruno to even be more effective in what he did. You know, so Pogba definitely had an overall impact on the game today. And to me, if that any player to give man of the match, I was giving it to Pogba. Not only for the goal, but for the impact that he created when he came on.
Nice. Well said, Nico. Well said. I'll agree with that in terms of man of the match, Pogba. Greg, good?
Yeah. Because really nobody really said nothing much in the first half. Besides Harry and Lindelof putting in a decent shift.
Dean a nice save.
I would say Dean make a couple nice saves. Other than that, I would say Pogba could be my man of the match because of that energy that he brought on. You know, and as we all agreed, he changed the dynamics. He opened up play because Bruno had a freer second half, because everybody was like, hey, Pogba. Because as you can see, there was double teaming Bruno already.
Pogba,
yeah. So as Pogba come on, they start to tackle Pogba, free up Bruno, free up other players, because even Fred managed to put in a few decent passes in. You understand? Because we know that is not his strong point. But we know that is not his strong point.
But shaking his head up in the corner there, see it?
But the chances, the few passes that he was able to tread counted today.
I think Pogba, what with Pogba to the silkiness of the touch now is he street football type of IQ. You see like what Kessie have, that kind of touch, no man come in, know the kind of flick, know the kind of out.
Yes.
That what McTominay and Fred don't have. You know, you see that touch, that street football type football. That helped us a lot.
Nico, the man was only born in Brazil.
Yeah, no,
Nico, the man was only born in Brazil.
As Callum said, I agree with
the man have a Trinidad and Tobago parentage, but you only born in Brazil. That's all I can say.
Wow.
So he's a steel pan and soccer, not football.
Steel pan and soccer, no samba.
No samba.
Boy, no samba, nothing. The man don't even have a merengue touch. So, but I didn't. Well, let me stop it.
All right. So, I know Nico didn't want to go into the whole Cavani thing, right? So I will just touch on it and then we could move on, right? Because we want to wrap it up. We want to wrap it up, right? Now, this Cavani situation is a bit strange, and it reminded me of certain players who would have gone before in terms of when they express certain things to Ollie and how he would have dealt with it. Ollie is not the type to go into the media and blast a player. That is not Ollie, right? But you just see the evidence. Player injured, quote unquote, when they're not really injured because of training properly. And these mystery knocks
Injuries,
or these mystery reactions to training that doesn't seem, normal. And
Right.
even with his father coming out and talking, then Cavani having to come back and talk, and even in the Cavani interview that was aired, you're hearing certain things that he's saying that probably he's not contented with his situation at United. Even Ollie had alluded in one of his pressers that, and the statement he made was that even though Cavani may not be happy with the amount of minutes he's playing, so when you take different pieces and you try to put them together to make sense. Now, I'm not saying that Cavani is not going to play football for Man United again, right? But when you look at certain occurrences and then you measure it with how Ollie treated with matters in the past, right? It really leaving some questions that needs to be answered, and probably within the next couple of weeks we'll see, whether or not
some loopholes.
But to me, I not seen it a playing time issue or a minutes issue. I think it's something more than that, because to me, Cavani ended up to our main striker, and it's only because of injury and maybe fitness when he didn't play it, so that minutes thing, I have a question mark over that. I think it's something maybe deep more than that.
But
I agree. I find it well suspect, real fishy.
It could stem from the whole situation. Sorry to cut you across. Good.
Yeah.
It could stem from the whole situation. It could stem from the whole situation where how he had to deal with the ban after the message on Instagram for one, and then some South American players tend to be a bit emotional when it comes to dealing with environments, especially playing in England. If you see the history of some players that play for Manchester United, other than somebody like probably like the one Sebastian Verons and the Carlos Teveses and the Edison and Angel Di Maria, some of these players have a tendency of situations may arise where they are.
No, not Diego.
Not Diego so much. Diego was more of a form thing, and then age kind of started to creep in with Luis Saha and others coming into the team. His game got limited. So he's probably like the exception to that rule a bit. But when you look at other situations with those players, it kind of makes you wonder what is it with South Americans and not being able to settle in a club like Manchester United?
Maybe the weather. Let us complain about the weather.
Yeah, but it don't rain in South America. What?
No, but the thing about it, right? What is so alarming about this whole Cavani issue is even though he not adjusting to the weather, or even if he taking hard to adjust or to accept the sanction with the racist comments, it's still you being part of a team. There's a certain level of protection there where you'll feel comfortable. You're in that space and you'll train and work hard for the team, right? But where it reached to the point where your manager, right? There's something happening behind the scenes between Ollie and Cavani, and this is all I'm saying, right? Because if it was something else,
I wouldn't know that at all.
Ollie would be playing Cavani, right? Ollie would be playing Cavani, and I remember when Cavani had just come back from injury, and we had played who it was? It was Crystal Palace. Cavani just came back from injury, and Cavani got subbed off, and Cavani was upset walking, right? And then Cavani was injured for the next game. And Ollie just he got a knock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then after that, the reports that Cavani not happy at Man United and he's not going to extend came out. And then his father now came out and said that he wants to come back to Argentina. Well, he wants to go to Argentina and play with Boca. You know what I'm saying? So there is definitely something going on. I know it's definitely, I know Nico would have disagreed, but I think it has something to do with his playing time. Cavani wants to play football. Cavani didn't come, and he said it in his interview, he didn't come to train young people. He said, if you come to me, I will talk to you, but I didn't come here to train you. I come to play football. You understand? So this tag that you have on me, I'm here to teach the young players. He didn't come for that, right? So this is what I'm saying. It has something going on there, and time will tell. Yeah.
Yeah, but Man United bigger than Cavani, so wherever you see wherever you see he could go Argentina. As much as I appreciated all the goals he scored, the goals against Southampton, most important, but again, nobody bigger than United. So at the end of the day, if you're uncomfortable,
And then when you look at it on the bright side, this whole situation, if Cavani does leave, it leaves room for another striker to come in.
But honestly, all the talking Haaland, but here what going on, eh? Well, we should break the bank for Harry Kane, boy. As much as little injury prone he might be,
boy.
we should break the bank for Harry Kane, boy.
Nico. Let me stop it.
If I take anybody from Spurs,
Daniel Levy in selling. I would have quicker go for Son over Harry.
Will you go for two of them now? Will you go for two of them?
I was going to say.
Will you go for two of them?
Let me go for two of them. I don't mind the two of them.
But how we playing Son and Bruno in the same team though?
Kane could rot in Spurs.
That chaos too. That real chaos.
But we selling Martial. We selling Martial. We selling Martial.
Don't say that to
you're playing Son in a manner.
Before you get kicked out this thing, yeah. Hush.
No, but honestly,
we selling Martial. We put him on loan.
Honestly,
we selling him to go West Ham. Pare loan.
Harry Kane.
And we discover.
I was breaking the bank for Harry Kane. I tell you, I was breaking the bank for Harry Kane.
How old is Harry Kane now?
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Harry Kane,
if we go for Cavani at 33, right?
No,
Kane at 26, 27. Still a fair deal, boy. 100 million.
I would make on that one. I will go for Harry Kane over Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Because Harry Kane experience in the league. I think Harry Kane have more to his game than Haaland.
Yeah.
Haaland is a beast, right? But I watch Haaland play, and I still think Harry have more. I think he have more. He's a creative player as well.
Yeah, but you'll get more years out of
Added to that,
and
right?
how much champion?
Haaland's father don't want him to come in.
Yeah, but Gregory, what titles now?
I still feel Harry Kane are more in the locker than Haaland.
Yeah, I know Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Harry Kane have plenty tickets.
When you watch how Tottenham this play, and if Harry Kane not on that field, Tottenham does look like Trinidad. Trust me. I'm telling you.
Yeah. They look normal. Look, even without Son. Without Son, they look normal too. They look like W Connection.
Kurt, by telling you, I feel the team that suffer more. I still feel the team that suffer more without Kane than without Son.
Well, today looks something at all. But I forget my point. But to me, Harry Kane, if you get Harry Kane, still a fair deal.
But
and I remember my point is that I don't think Harry Kane comfortable playing under Jose Mourinho. To be honest, I don't think anybody comfortable playing under Jose Mourinho.
I know.
Let's say a defensive midfielder. You are a defensive midfielder, yeah, that's your game.
He kind of players he like defensive minded players.
Yeah. So he as an attacking player, you wouldn't like Jose Mourinho football. And to me,
and at one time, Ndombele say he wasn't playing with that again.
If we throw money at Spurs for Harry Kane, you might get some change.
I had to agree with. I don't know if Gregor could say it, but there's no way Daniel Levy selling the most prized asset.
Yeah, but that's just it.
Yeah,
Daniel Levy bad mind. Yeah, after Bobato, that man in selling. He rather sell Kane to Arsenal than to sell him to me.
Nah. That's a rival. He gonna never sell a rival.
Yeah. For one, Arsenal can't afford it.
He bad mind like that.
Yeah,
Arsenal can't even afford it.
Arsenal can't afford it. But it could never Barcelona kind of. It's like a Messi, Barcelona, unstable. Because I don't think Harry Kane will be comfortable playing under this present management or present style of football.
Yeah, people talk about Jose Mourinho, but football digress on them, eh? Regress, sorry. All right, let me get one more comment and then we'll get closing thoughts, guys. Right? Simeon saying that man's still getting more cash than some make in a year, in a week. But I would hope there's someone at United communicating strongly, expectations and consequences.
The guy's Cavani.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel Cavani feel he bigger than Oli. Cavani play and he could tell Oli what he want. That's what I feel.
Yeah, the man used to get it running the land in PSG, so yeah, custom the probably gain his way a lot. So
and not only that, you remember when Oli say after a particular game, Cavani come and tell him he want a day off the next day. And yeah.
No,
that
but
kind of divas
Oli
thing.
brutal, Oli going to that. And the good thing you get a 1 year contract, so at the end of the season, goodbye. And as the many that went before you know what I mean? Nobody's going to miss you. I'm being honest. We want to see Manchester United play.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So guys, that was it. Let me get some closing thoughts now. Talk to me, Greg.
Right. I just saying there's another situation of job done because we did it necessary. Granted, everybody would have liked a lot more flair and style to the victory, but at the same time, it's the ugly games that help get you over the line too. So sometimes you just have to remember, like in Fast and Furious, well, Vin Diesel did say, it don't matter if you win by an inch or by a mile, winning is winning, and that's all you need to do at the end of the day. We want to get better. We will get better. This team still showing signs of development, and there's still a lot of work. The job not done, but we showing signs of progress, and that's what you really need.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I mean, our away record keep getting better and better. We what 23 away wins. Yeah,
We actually
that says a lot.
City record over there.
Yeah, 23 undefeated away wins. That is testimony that we are in the right direction. We just need to have a little bit more faith in it. I mean, his man management is better than last season. His tactical awareness a little better than last season. So Oli is really growing into stature. Because as we all know, the great Alex Ferguson didn't get it right until probably after the 3rd or 4th season, almost in his last year of his contract, when they wanted to give the boot and they come and win the trophy. So if after this season and the man recently come and get an extension for 9 million. So let's say after next year and we see that progress and we start to regress, I don't, because if we get rid of Ole, who would have Ole to really manage this team? You notice every manager that come in with black hair end up leaving a gray or silver hair. Just managing
Only had a few grades
Manchester
before he
United
came, so
is stress.
But it's not
Yeah,
a
a few
real black
grades.
before.
It's a real
Not a
black.
real black.
Nah, United job.
Green, thank you. The man had a real black in here.
That
The man
United
had
job
more
with
pepper
Fred.
than salt. No, the man had more salt than pepper. Right? Managing Man United is a very stressful job. If you don't have a good heart,
with the board
and
we
strong
have,
mind,
I can understand.
the money that we win, that we owners and I win from Tampa Bay, from the Super Bowl, they can use it to invest in the Man United team, but we know that ain't happening.
Yeah,
The amount of money they splash
next day.
yeah, that's another talk. But anyhow, we are in the up. This team have shown that they can do it. They have to just develop this winning mentality, and we'll continue to develop that winning mentality, and we can be unstoppable.
All right, good. Okay, nice. Right, Remy, you hear me?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. To be honest, I wasn't overly optimistic going into this game. Anything could have happened because the first leg, I think AC Milan was a better team, and the score in the first leg was a deserving scoreline. I think we was even lucky to really come out with one goal. So going into today and going away, as much as I know that our away form is even better than our home form, I was not optimistic. I think AC Milan is second in Serie A, was going good, so I was thinking that it would definitely been a difficult game. But so coming through this game, even without Milan scoring, I think it's a feat in itself. I think it's testament to our confidence away from home, testament to the belief that Ollie's instilling into the guys, and even belief that we know that we could go away from home anywhere and score, and win games, So we went to the next round, quarterfinal round up. When is it draw? When is it draw, Reem?
I think it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right? So
Tomorrow.
again, we're going to Jody. We're going to Jody Bayern Munich in the group. But again, we show that we could conquer maybe any team on any day, even with our limited midfield. I think we really need to improve our quality in the midfield. And let's start the weekend FA Cup. I think definitely another game to look forward to.
Yeah.
I just want to share just a saying that my father used to always tell me. He said that a gem is not polished without rubbing, nor a man without trials. That statement can be applied with this team, because you see that there's a lot of work to do, and there's going to be a lot of difficult situations. This was one of those. Yeah. They get in there, so we just have to be patient, and hopefully we keep progressing. Anyway, we're not taking
with quality players in the midfield.
Wait till the transfer market open now, man. Oh gosh.
Waiting. That's what I'm waiting for. What's man? You leave. That's what I'm waiting for.
If men like Phil Jones could still be here on our contract, then love Fred now.
Hey,
Fred. I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind Fred being there, But Fred can be we go to when we playing games against top teams.
All right, buddy. All right.
Against any team. Against any team, close out games, as Reem does say, we're going to close out our game, bring on Fred, bring on McTominay. You know what? I still believe that McTominay could do a job next to a quality midfielder. But again, that and all yet to be seen.
My thoughts, my closing thoughts. I think I said it before, I don't mind the ugly wins. But when you look at some of the games that was played today, we need to turn up a little more. We can't depend on being ugly, winning ugly all the time. At some point, we had to turn up and play proper football, at some point, because the acid test is how you play, really, and we want to see our team play properly, right? When I looked at the game against Spurs, Dynamo Zagreb played all over Spurs. You know what I'm saying? And they played, and I because of how the game is, eventually the team that playing better at some point will get the results. You understand? And I want us to play to deserve results, not, well, it was an ugly win, and these are the kind of games they had to win sometimes, I don't like talking about my club and making them kind of statements, but I understand what Gregory's saying. We're not there yet, but we can't take too long, because sometimes with patience go way thin, and then the results go start to show. We can't keep roughing games out like these and depending on individual brilliance to see out games. Because if we're being honest, over the 2 legs, AC Milan was the better team. You know what I'm saying? But
agreed.
But Pogba. Right, so going into the business end of the season, the running, I really hope that with the likes of Pogba coming back in, our injury list, going down, and the fit players coming back in now that we have Van de Beek back, we have Cavani back, we have Martial back, Rashford is a soldier, so he can come back. I hope that we will be able to see some semblance of a team game, some evidence of training, some evidence of cohesion, chemistry, a game plan going into games. So that we could see our games better than we sit and we wondering how we're going to score. Because me and Nico was talking about this against West Ham. We were possessing the ball nice, but we were always questioning and worrying where the goal was coming from. Similarly today, in a game where we needed a goal, until Pogba came on, anybody could tell me who was going to score that goal? You know? And these are the kind of things I want to see. Yeah, and these are the kind of things I want to see going forward, because this is this is the difference between a Europa League champion and probably first or second place in the Premier League. You know? So if we comfortable with you know, a next semi-final loss, or second place 50 points behind City, then I can accept that. You know, I really want us to start to play better, and I know if we play better, the results will come.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, one thing I want to touch on too, Wim, that setup backpack. Manchester United was never a team that used to do this setup back passing, boy. I don't know. We need to work on that setup back passing. You know, I just hate to see Maguire knocking to Lindelof to Wan-Bissaka to the keeper. You see that setup passing in the back there? It does drive me mad. Real mad.
It depends on when you do it for me. It depends on when you do it for me. If it's like you're doing that to just kind of kill time, then you could get rid of it. But but even Gregory, right? Even to kill time. Even sometimes we 1-0 up or 2-0 up in Fergie time. Even under Van Gaal, fellas, and I was pressing for goals still. You have 2 minutes additional.
Van Gaal?
Not Van Gaal. Not Van Gaal. What's the next one? The next joker. Yeah, a little bit. Moise had a couple of games that on the belt that where they're showing in the last couple seconds we gunning for a goal still, you know.
And then in them last couple of seconds we throw away our goal too.
Exactly. All right. So we had to work on that. I know we're closing up, but where the other thing is Donny best position in this side? As we close it up.
We talk about that next season. We talk about
that next review.
Next week. Let me get Chris closing up the comments here. He's saying we need better players to play a better brand. Nico was saying
exactly.
That. He's also saying for all the pretty footballers, managers like Pep do, he needs the players to do it. Hence, City cycles
true players until they find
the right one.
Now we're spending the money.
We can't consistently play attractive football with a squad players starting. Fred, McTominay,
fair point.
Etal.
Yeah,
Martial.
Martial. I had to join you.
Wow.
All right.
You notice I been merciful today. I've been merciful today. See how them fellas is.
Now they're chopping me today. I ain't falling for that at all. I want to see how much better we use without Martial right now. Anyway, fellas, it was nice. You know? The draw is tomorrow. And as usual, please let me not expect no easy draw. Let me expect the hardest draw.
Yeah. Who's the hardest team? Who's the hardest team in the draw?
I think the Avengers might be
I think Roma.
The Avengers?
Yeah, I feel the Avengers inside there and we will get them for sure. For sure we join the Avengers.
Roma is the hardest team?
Yeah, boy.
Roma can be the I feel Dynamo Zagreb, after the rip-up, they might be the hardest team. I don't know.
You see who Roma have on the side?
Nah, man. I got a kid.
No. You talk about men like Jacko and them fellas on the other side, dog. No.
Jacko, God, we still fear for Jacko, boy.
Jacko just kind of like Lewandowski, yeah? He's had moments. He could be our pet. Anyway,
So in the interest of time, you know, we'll be here on Thursday again for the FA Cup game against Leicester. That promises
Tuesday is Sunday.
Sunday, sorry. That promises to be a good one. You know, let's hope the right Manchester United show up. You know, so that we'll be reviewing a progression to the next round of the FA Cup. You know, so guys, thanks again. Don't forget to like, share, and also on YouTube, subscribe, like, share. Have a good night, everybody.
Nico,
good night.
One more thing. I was saying that, right? And in the next review, I want us to have a talk about Jesse Lingard after his loan spell, how he fitting back into this team? That would be a nice discussion.
Nah, you gonna get sell, boy. You gonna get sell.
Save it for next week.
No,
Save it for next
you
week.
gonna get sell. Actually, you gonna get sell. But anyway, next
Reem
review.
cut the life.
No, before the live go, I need to get a comment in now. You know, I just need to get this one in and then we will cut off the live, right?
Go ahead, sir.
Christopher saying the Martial slander continues. Somebody help me.
Why you put that? I can't see that.
Wait, let me finish now. You know,
All right.
Them fellas banging goes over. So I'm missing some. Watch me, Christopher. I'm missing something too.
Yeah, we're gonna form. We're gonna form. Right of Marcel this season.
Oh please.
I'm not defending Marcel at all. At all.
Please. The team is not playing for them strikers to score.
But when he get chances, what do you do with their dreams?
Anyway, Alia, good night.
Yeah.